How's it going, everybody? My name is Vanessa Reese Gardner, and I am the CEO and founder of Ping. Ping is a network intelligence platform that you see right here that is also powered by an NFC ring. This NFC ring has all my contact information on it. NFC stands for Near Field Communication, if you didn't know, which is the same technology that is used in tap to pay and things of that nature. So essentially, if I can take this and I can tap the top of anybody's phone, iOS or Android, they get all my contact information, including my phone number, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and they can also send me theirs, and they'll essentially pop up on my network visualizer right here. This is one of our views, which is our concentric circle view, as to where if you tap in right here, you can actually see this is my family, this is everybody that is in the Ping ecosystem, and then you can essentially expand out from there. These are all my friends, and then you can just bounce around to everybody. For example, if you wanted to see Rion's contact information, you can just click in here, let it load for a second, and you can essentially send him your contact info, and then he has his email, his phone number, and his WhatsApp all listed right here. You can also come up here and sort him onto any of your circles, and you can also come back and say that I wanted to, just move Rion from this circle to another one, to the generator circle, for example, which is an AI lab that I started. You can just drag and drop him, and he's on the next circle just like that. So he's now over here, again on that generator circle that I just told you about. And for another example, this is my co-founder Gaspard, who has a little bit more information on his Ping profile. He has his email, phone number, WhatsApp, website, LinkedIn, and Instagram. You can also schedule a meeting with him right here via Google Calendar API. Then we have a little bit of a history just to kind of capture our relationship history as well. So if we go back, I'm going to show you a couple more of our views that we have. We can also sort and just hide any of these circles if we wanted. So if we wanted to hide my unsorted circle, my AMI circle, which is an innovation conference that I hosted, we can do that just so that we can see our network in a much more organized and intentional way. We can also see shared circles. So for example, we went to San Francisco, me and Gaspar, and we essentially were able to take all of the investors that we pinged, and then we put them onto a shared circle so that I could see the investors that Gaspar connected with, and Gaspar could see the investors that I connected with. So if you're a sales team going to a conference and you're meeting a bunch of people, instead of having fragmented LinkedIn's, QR codes, business cards, phone numbers, emails, you can essentially have everything right here in one place that your whole team can manage. So here's another one of our views. This is our brain view, which essentially uses artificial intelligence to cluster the connections that are in your network. So if we come in right here, we can actually slow the speed down a little bit. And then these are essentially all my connections. It also shows who they're connected to right here. And it essentially, again, uses artificial intelligence to sort via where you're working at, your college education, location, and things of that nature. And we're expanding those factors that we're considering to increase the knowledge of our artificial intelligence model. And then this is a really cool view, one of my favorites, which is the globe view. So as you can see right here, we have a full globe with all of my connections that are mapped onto that globe. So I can essentially zoom in to all of my connections in Massachusetts, get a little bit more specific even in Boston, and these are all of my connections that are in Boston. And these are all of the people who have either made their Ping profile and they've put Boston as their location, and then you can also add just their location of where you met them. And with our iOS app coming out in the next few days, we'll actually have geolocation tracking that will track where you meet somebody via using your phone's location instead of the rings, just to have a little bit more privacy that you can turn the geolocation on and off as well. So you can come in here, and then you can also view their profile directly from this view as well. And you can also come in here, and then again, all this contact information, and then we're also having projects and articles on these people that are coming out as well. And as you can see, this network visualization is truly novel. You think about social networks today, you think of LinkedIn, you think of Instagram, you think of Snapchat, all of these different platforms, but a lot of them are essentially social medias instead of social networks. You think about the format in which this media is consumed, it's just endless scrolling, endless scrolling. Whether that be scrolling through media on TikTok, whether that be scrolling through all of your 1,000, 2,000 connections on LinkedIn, it's essentially an endless, what we call contact graveyard. If you're trying to find your connections, if you're trying to follow up with people, a lot of those contacts go to the contact graveyard to die and never be revived again. So utilizing this and what we're calling a network intelligence layer, we are essentially trying to activate and maintain your network in a way that's never been done before. So if you come down here, you can actually come down and erase this really quick. And I can essentially ask my ping intelligence, who is in my Babson circle, and then utilizing a Claude API, it'll essentially have access to all of my connections, and then it can tell me all of these people, and then it'll also want me to help follow up with any of them. So if I can just go ahead and say, I want to follow up with any of them, then it'll help facilitate that process. So we're trying to make this much more robust in our next iteration as we continue to update the software, but this is where we see a lot of the value integrating artificial intelligence with your already existing network, combined with the people that you're meeting, in a more consistent basis. If you're going to networking events, and if you're really, valuing the connections that you're making and caring about your follow-up, we'll also have, special like prompting follow-ups that essentially be like, hey, you didn't talk to this person that you marked a level 5 priority. You should probably send them, a little follow-up text just to make sure that relationship is maintained and continues to be strong. We have a couple other small features that you might find cool. We have a leaderboard of all of the people that have pinged. So yours truly is number one with 1,440 pings. And you also have down here our community pings all time, around 5,000 community pings. You can also sort by month and week, and even today. And it continues. I just did this a couple of minutes ago on another try. I was at 20. So people are pinging consistently throughout the day, and we're seeing our user get more and more active as time goes on. We also have our notifications. So essentially, if you come in here, we see everybody that we have connected with, and then if I just click them, they'll come up on my circle. I can click on them, save them to your phone, sort them into acquaintances, and then you can also follow up with them just like this. Hey Vincent, good to meet you, let's stay in touch. It'll open your messages and you can send that message instantly. You can also manage your circles using Ping's platform. So essentially, if I wanted my family to be the closest concentric circle, I would essentially just move it up just like this, save changes, and then after I do a quick refresh, my family is now at the center of my universe. So this Ping concentric circle visualization is completely customizable, and we're also looking to leverage artificial intelligence to auto-sort these connections in the future. Again, that's more so a version 2 as we continue to update the software, but we're really focused on the network visualization as our core layer, and then as we continue to develop, we can integrate more and more of these AI features as we go. And then one last thing I'll show you is we have this warm intro feature. If you don't know, one more thing I'll show you is this warm intro feature that we're developing. If you don't know, warm introductions are 7 times more effective than cold outreach. So we're essentially trying to facilitate the warm introduction process as well. So essentially you'll be able to go into here, and then you'll be able to facilitate warm introductions. Gaspard asked me for an introduction, and then I was able to confirm that, and then it'll essentially utilize AI to write a very custom tailored message, knowing what it has on me, knowing what it has on Gaspard for information, and then what Gaspard actually needs out of that introduction to facilitate the highest effective possible warm introduction message. So we're trying to really help facilitate people connecting better, and warm intros is one of those core things. So as we continue to develop, this will be something in our product development roadmap. So that is the Ping platform, and again, this is a product ecosystem. This is the hardware. What I just showed you was the software, and we are building the future of connection. So I'm super excited for any investor, any partner that's willing to collaborate with us and be a part of this journey, because we know this is going to be huge, and we hope you do too. So thank you so much, and talk to you soon.